The first leaders debate will be moderated by Sky News chief anchor Kieran Gilbert on Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. here on Sky News. Don't miss that. Joining me live is Assistant Immigration Minister Matt Thistlethwaite. And Matt, before I start on any of the election, you are emblazoned in your South Sydney Rabbitohs shirt. We just saw the controversial pass by Latrell Mitchell. You must have been on the edge of your seat.
It's not controversial, Timmy. That was a cracker of a pass by
Don't ask
Latrell,
my 16-year-old. He's a rooster.
Straight into his hands and straight into the corner to win the game. What a game. What a start for the Rabbitohs this season. And that's the arch rivalry, mate. There's nothing that gets people in my constituency more riled up than the Roosters-Rabbitohs game. And it's good to see we came away with the chocolates last night.
Yeah, very different version of events at my place with a very avid Roosters supporter sitting there. Now, look, let's talk election campaign. And a lot of events that are happening around the world are affecting what's happening here. The Trump Liberation Day tariffs unveiled with much fanfare. As we see retaliation, we've seen it from China this morning and other countries. How concerning is that prospect?
Well, Tim, the Trump tariffs were not unexpected, but they are certainly unwarranted. And they're also illogical because since the Howard years, Australia has had a free trade agreement with the United States where we've reduced protection and tariffs. So Mr. Trump talks about reciprocal tariffs. If they were reciprocal, they'd be zero because Australia doesn't impose tariffs on the United States through that free trade agreement. And it is concerning for a retaliation in the international economy. And I think that that's being reflected in financial markets across the world. But I want to make it clear that Australia will not be retaliating. We see free and open trade between nations as important to the productivity and growth of our economy. And ultimately, it's consumers that pay with tariffs. They're effectively taxes on goods and services. And we don't see imposing taxes on the people of the United States or indeed Australia through tariffs is good for growth or good for productivity and consumers.
There's variations on this phrase, but it's been said in the past that America sneezes and the rest of the world, particularly parts of the world like us, get a cold. The Trump impact is being felt in this election campaign. There's talk that, the expectations of a recession, this is some economics experts saying this, is 60% now in the US. Is it going to factor into how people vote here?
Well, there is concern in the wider community about Trump-style policies being implemented in Australia. And I'm getting that when I'm door knocking and campaigning, particularly for people who are worried that Peter Dutton could potentially go down that road. And he's already announced some Trump-style policies like massive reductions in the public service in Australia. No one wants to see that. If you're dealing with the Department of Veterans Affairs, with Centrelink, with aged care services, you rely on quick information, and cuts to people working in those departments is only going to mean that Australians are going to be worse off. Australians are also concerned about Peter Dutton's proposal to stop working from home. It's providing a lot of flexibility for families who are dealing with family situations and kids to provide that flexibility for them to be able to continue to work. So
there is a genuine working from home though. There's a genuine concern, and it's quite appropriate. You've got a beach behind you. There's a genuine concern among some people that some people flirt the edges of working from home and go out windsurfing. So there's a fine balance with that whole subject. But are you worried about support for the US-Australia alliance among everyday voters who might be wondering why a good friend like Australia should be hit with tariffs?
Well, the Prime Minister made it very clear this week that the Australia-US alliance is the foundation of our security, and it has been since World War II. And I thought it was rather irresponsible of Peter Dutton this week to threaten to use AUKUS and that alliance as a means for trying to one-up the Prime Minister and say that he could have got a better deal. I think that looked desperate, and I don't think that Australians appreciate Peter Dutton trying to use something that's so foundational to Australia's security and defence as the ANZUS alliance as a bargaining chip. And the Prime Minister made it very clear that the alliance will remain strong, that we are committed to AUKUS and committed to the marine rotational force that occurs around this time of the year in the north of Australia each year, because it's about Australia's defence and security. And we don't want to see any reduction in that important defence of our nation.
Now, huge night, Tuesday night, the first Leaders Debate. Chief Anchor Kieran Gilbert will moderate it for Sky News. Anthony Albanese and Peter Dutton will have 100 constituents there in Western Sydney as well, who will be able to question, grill the leaders. This will be a pivotal moment.
Yeah, look, Western Sydney is going to be an important battleground in this election. And you've seen the Prime Minister announce this week some important further policies that will benefit Western Sydney, infrastructure announcements, upgrades to public hospitals and the like in Western Sydney. And I know that the Prime Minister is certainly looking forward to the debate, Timmy, and he sees it as an important opportunity for interaction with the punters in Western Sydney, and he loves telling the story of why Labor is offering a better policy response in this election, why we're listening to them about their cost of living issues, and why we've got those policies to ensure that we're reducing pressure on people's cost of living.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I do want to talk to you about the Moore Park golf situation, because I have a particular take on what's happening there. But let's push that forward to next week, because we've just run out of time. I do think it was a forward pass, but that's life. The Roosters made too many errors. And congratulations to South Sydney. We'll chat again next week.
Thanks, Timmy. Great to talk to you.